Amazing. That sounds
Sounds
good to
good
me.
to me.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you a quick intro for the recording and then we'll go from there. Just let me know when to go, ZFi. Okay. Welcome everybody to another demo brought to you by Fight Club. These are the Tech Thursday demos where we like to show off Web3 projects around the ecosystem and just give our community some exposure to new and upcoming projects. Today joining us, we have Jamin from Caddi.fi. Caddi is the crypto super companion making transactions simpler, cheaper, and safer. Great to have you here today, Jamin. Really looking forward to this one. You can go ahead and share your screen and we can kick this off.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the intro. Let me just share the right screen. Um, so I don't know if I can share my entire screen or okay, I've got it. Got it. All good. So let me know if you can see. We're on the Caddi.fi website.
Just loading up. Yeah, looks good to me.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me. I love what you guys do at both Fight Club and Bankless. It really resonates with me, kind of the nature of going bankless, also the content, the entertainment, great guests on the podcast, as well as the DAO. It really is an honor to be here. I'm Jamin, the founder, CEO of Caddi. And what we do is we're building the crypto super companion, which allows you to navigate crypto with confidence. And what we do is dissect the transactions to make sure they're simpler, cheaper, and safer. Why are we building this? We want to save you money on every trade, but ultimately that feeling that you get as you're interacting with crypto. Say you're connecting to a dApp for the first time, it says connect wallet, and then sign something. You're not sure, you might hesitate. Is this a legit project? Am I going to be scammed? Am I going to lose all my money? Those are all things we hate to see, and we think the space could do less of. What we'll do is make sure that that transaction or that wallet signing is vetted so we can make sure it's secure, and that you don't have to worry if you're getting the best price or not, because we'll go and source that price for you. And we have a number of different routes that we can take. But the idea is wherever you keep your crypto, independent if you use DEXs or wallets, as well as centralized exchanges, you can frictionlessly manage all of your crypto the way that you want. So we're a browser extension as well, and we're live on Chrome and Brave. We allow you to trade the same way with your wallet. So the idea is you could be on Uniswap, and then you could be executing a transaction. And what we'll do is pick up that transaction, we'll scan it for anything malicious, and then we'll go and source the best price for you. We're live on a few different exchanges. We've got everything in the same place. We've got Binance, Kraken, KuCoin on the centralized side. Then we've got Lee Finance, TigerSwap, 1inch, OpenOcean, and Matcha on the DeFi aggregator side. We do the optimal order routing, as I mentioned, as well as, we think self-custody is really important. So what we do is we make sure that your API keys to exchanges can never leave your extension. We saw with the 3 commas hack how, a centralized party keeping any of your data is a big risk. And we didn't want anything like that hack to happen to us. And that could be an inside job. That could be something which, a hacker gets access to a database. We used to keep API keys and then we encrypted them, which I'm assuming is the same thing that 3 commas did. Yet, we wanted to implement safety by design. And now, in the same way that MetaMask keeps your seed phrase, we can actually keep your API key. I think security is probably one of the most important things to solve in crypto. And we can't really onboard the masses like we want to do until we've solved that. We also keep you protected from regular scams. As I mentioned, when you're signing a contract, there's a bunch of malicious activities that can happen, and also the websites you're on as well. So we have phishing protection to make sure that when you're browsing, you really have that confidence to know Caddi is protecting you at all times. So I'm going to hop into the demo, and I think the best way to do it is just to show you what the extension looks like. So here we have the Caddi interface. Now this is brand new. We've rolled it out to a few people. It's in a private beta at the moment. So DM me if you want an invite code. And here, you can see different tokens. We've seen a nice pump today on Bitcoin. It's gone up to almost 25K. I think it briefly did get there. About a 10% change, which is pretty pretty remarkable. You can now, you can turn transaction scanning and phishing scanning on and off and on, and you can manage your API keys. So we have these three exchanges, and you can basically upload to your extension these API keys, which will allow you to trade on the different platforms on centralized exchanges. I'll actually dive into the optimal order routing as well. So this is a feature which we're really happy to have shipped. We're constantly working on new stuff at Caddy, and this was kind of the biggest step change since our last product, which was an interface for trading on these different platforms. But now what we do is, let's say if you're executing a transaction, for example, you could search for any token, Curve, you're swapping Ethereum to Curve. Let's say you're doing 1 ETH. This is on regular Uniswap. Now, when we confirm the swap, instead of it going straight to your MetaMask, we'll pick up the transaction at Caddy, and then we'll tell you where you can get more Curve tokens for that 1 ETH. So for example, here, it's going to save you almost 1%, 0.88% if you swap on Binance. So I could execute that trade on the centralized exchange. And for example, if you're going to get 1,418 tokens on Uniswap, you'll be getting 1,430 tokens on Binance. Now, we also have decentralized routes as well. 1 inch will have a price saving of 0.42. So, we can go ahead and execute that trade, but we've also got OpenOcean, which has a faster route, a cheaper route as well. And we can trade this on 1 inch. Now, what it will do is pop up your MetaMask. So you'll find now a different transaction. And I'm not going to execute this trade because gas is quite expensive, and it's not exactly the trade I want to make right now. But you can see how that can work. This works for any kinds of swaps, and I can show you, a demo of something on a centralized exchange working too. So say you wanted to buy some Polygon Matic. So here, you approve the use of USDT. Well, let's do a bit more than one. Let's say it's like 25 bucks. Let's approve some USDT. The same way you regularly do. Now, this will work on Uniswap. This will also work on 1 inch, and in the future, it will work on any DEX aggregator or DEX that you want to use, and we'll have support for more chains as well. So now we're going to confirm this swap of 25 USDT to Polygon, to Matic. Now it's saying that Kyber swap is going to save you, a fair amount actually, 1.6, which is pretty sizable actually for this level of transaction. But say you wanted to go to a centralized exchange, now you can trade on Binance, and this will actually go through and execute. So yeah, it rejects on the main screen, and it should go through to our backend and make that trade for you. We're also live on Polygon, so I can show you a trade, if you're going to switch to Polygon mainnet and how that would work. Let's say, for example, you wanted to buy Uni tokens on Polygon. We can swap about 20 Matic to 4.09 Uni. And if Caddy finds a better price to swap at, then it will pop up and it will present that to you. So here, OpenOcean is going to save you 0.79%. Now, every transaction is vetted as well. So it tells you in plain English exactly what you're swapping from and to. And we do vet this for security as well. I want to show you it working on another website as well. So if we go to 1inch, let's say if we're swapping something, so now we're on Polygon, we could switch it back to Ethereum mainnet. And we do have support for MetaMask right now. We'll add support for Wallet Connect pretty soon as well. So let's say ETH to Chainlink, for example. We'll have to swap in the legacy, like the classic swap mode for 1inch. Now, if we confirm this transaction, we'll pick it up and we'll do the exact same process that we showed you with Uniswap. And here, only OpenOcean is going to be cheaper than 1inch, and it will save you an incremental amount. But yeah, you can see how that works. Yeah, so that's a brief example of how Caddy works. And I'd love to also show you, some phishing protection. So if you're on a website, let's say I had this prepared, there's a fake website, which is a fake Uniswap website. What's it called? uniswapv3org.org. Caddi will tell you that this is a phishing website, so please be careful. And we're making sure that this list is kept updated, with millions of domains, so you won't be spoofed, or if there's any kind of malicious transactions that are happening on a new website, then that will be identified, and it can be identified by other users as well. So you're fully protected. Just to show you actually a trade going through, because I realized that we haven't shown the full completion of a single trade. We can swap some Polygon, and let's say we're swapping it on Uniswap. Here, let's swap 20 Matic to some Uni tokens on Polygon. I'll show you how it executes with the aggregators too. And for usual swapping, it will go straight to your wallet. So if you're doing anything else outside of getting the best price, then it will be super simple. So here it's waiting to send the transaction. You get the same data out of MetaMask. It's just more readable with the Caddi extension as well. Then when we process this transaction, this will take a moment to confirm on the Polygon blockchain. And then we can also show you the transaction hash, which will present itself after it's been confirmed. There we go. View on the Block Explorer. So 14 seconds ago, we swapped using the OpenOcean exchange here, and we got 20 Matic swaps to, let's see, 4.11 Uniswap tokens. And we beat the price of 4.098 there. Yeah, so I'm really excited about where we are. Caddi is literally going to save you money on every trade. It's very similar to the Chrome extension Honey. If you're familiar with how it works in Web 2, basically when you're checking out, it applies lots of discount codes that you'd otherwise have to search manually and input in yourself. We basically do the same thing, checking prices across the entire ecosystem in all of these different exchanges, so you can make sure that you actually have the best price. We have a lot of stuff on the roadmap. We're starting with spot trading, as you've seen. We're making sure that our scam detection is working really well, but we'll get set up on different chains beyond just ETH Polygon. We'll integrate more exchanges as well, and also more dApps. So now we have swapping, but NFT mints, other things, interacting with staking protocols, and also going cross-chain. We'll include derivatives and perpetuals, as well as, we did have portfolio tracking, which was for most EVM chains and centralized exchanges. We're going to bring that back with a fiat on-ramp as well, and also dedicated newsfeed. We're also thinking about our own wallet integration. If you didn't want to, use MetaMask, we're kind of toying around with dollar cost averaging as well, and potentially building a mobile app in the future as well. So yeah, I mean, that's a brief demo of how Caddi works. I would love to take any questions. If you guys feel free to just ask anything about Caddi. Very excited about where we are.
One of the problems that always arises here within Web3 is this whole user experience. I really like the user experience, except for when you complete a transaction, then it says on the original DEX, it says transaction canceled or rejected. Is there any way to get around that? Is that just something that you're going to have to deal with all the time? It just seems like a bit of a user experience hiccup to me.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So in this case, the transaction that's rejected, it's Uniswap's front end itself saying that the original transaction, which was this kind of swap from 20 to 4.09, that is rejected. So I think without actually messing around with Uniswap's interface directly, we might be able to write some code that can overlay that and just say transaction accepted through Caddi. But that would be like a very case by case thing. So if you were swapping on Uniswap, we'd have to build a different integration for, let's say, Quick Swap or Sushi Swap or something else. It is possible. And I do agree with you that the UX of it saying transaction rejected when actually it was accepted is a bit confusing. So yeah, that's a really good piece of feedback and something that we will consider in the future.
Okay, cool. Um, oh, sorry, I was speaking and I was on mute. Thanks
No
for that.
worries.
Thanks for that reply. Yeah, I think some sort of overlay would be great, just so people know, you know, yes, this has been processed by Caddy, even if the original transaction has been canceled. But I'm sure over time those
Mhm.
things will smooth out. Also, opening the floor for other people to ask questions. But in the meantime, I just wanted to know, how do you personally get involved in crypto?
Oh, for sure. So, I kind of was involved in the space in 2017, very fascinated by the technology. I first encountered it, during the bull run when things were very speculative, and got more excited about the tech. So I read a couple books, started messing around, made some very kind of small investments because I was a student at the time. But then I thought the best way to learn about something is to dive headfirst. And I created a blockchain club at university, which later got closed down. It's now back up and running, and I've been to a few events. So great to see how these cycles do have an impact. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really pay attention to the space as much as I wish I did during 2017 through to 2020. I was more focused on machine learning and AI and data science. And it's funny how that comes in waves as well. But then I really saw what I thought would take something like 10 years to be built. In the ICO phase, I thought, okay, dApps, smart contracts, all that stuff seems like a while away until it's usable. Then after DeFi summer, I was like, hey, I can plug in my wallet, this browser extension, MetaMask wallet, and I can interact with Uniswap, with Aave. I can actually use things now. People have built things which are here to last. So that was really the moment where I was like, okay, more has been accomplished in the last 3 to 4 years than I thought would take 10 years. This space is moving really quickly. I want to be a part of it. So I actually started by trading it. My background is in algo trading. I was a quant before, and I could trade in crypto. So kind of unrestricted because you have securities restrictions where trades need to be approved when you have like a job in the markets, like I did. So yeah, I set up some algorithmic trades and it worked really well, at least in the bull run. And it kind of built a bit of personal runway to start tackling my frustrations with the space. And there definitely was a few, a UX is one of them, and security is another, kind of making sure you're getting the right prices. And Caddy came very naturally as kind of a summation of the tools that I had built for myself, knowing that there'd be millions of others who could make use of them as well.
Yeah, the more that gets built, the more useful it becomes. So it's like the flywheel effect, that positive flywheel effect. Um,
Yeah, truly is standing on the shoulders of giants. There's so
yeah.
much infrastructure now which has been built, and including now we're building for the future. That I'm just very excited. I think we're at a really exciting time in crypto. Even though the markets aren't great, it's kind of global macro is awful. The building has not stopped, and you just need to go to one conference, participate in a few hackathons to see. Okay, this is where the builders are. That what comes with composability and permissionlessness is really quite exciting. You can plug into any dApp. You can build an interface that's doesn't just interact with a smart contract directly. As a developer, it's really a dream.
Yeah, I agree. We do have some questions coming in through the chat. First of all, from Crown, you might need to explain this one a bit better, Crown. He says, can you do a quick one with MetaMask without the site extension? Uh,
Yeah, so you can swap within MetaMask if that's what you're asking within the site. Um,
okay. Is that what you mean, Crown? You could just thumbs up
Yeah,
or.
yeah. What I meant was, on MetaMask we can swap directly. What I'm trying to know is if we can make those swaps and still find a way to use the integration you were talking about. Like if I want to swap on MetaMask now, what I just do is click on swap and swap whatever token. So how can we use this in that sense too, since this would help reduce the gas fee? And also, is it possible yet, or is just for web swapping, like using the Uniswap site and all?
That's a really good question. Thanks for the question, Crown. So I don't think we'd intercept a transaction which is within MetaMask. MetaMask has pretty tight security procedures, which wouldn't allow that. But so kind of if I'm reviewing this swap here, review swap, it will fetch some quotes and it will actually charge you a decent fee, 0.875, which is very sizable. And you could execute swap here. We wouldn't be able to intercept that. But actually, what Caddi, we're building now, we would be able to execute that same transaction within Caddi. So here, we're swapping, what is it, Matic? You could be swapping it from USDT. Let's say it's USDC. And you can execute a swap here. Currently, we find the best prices across centralized exchanges. So for example, it shows you KuCoin here. And within this interface, we're working on making it work with MetaMask or whatever wallet solution that you have. You'd be able to swap and you just sign a transaction with MetaMask. It's not something which we support directly from this pop-up, but it would be something that's definitely available through if you're swapping on Uniswap, if you're swapping on 1inch, if you're swapping on any of the other aggregators or DEXs that will be able to intercept and give you that price. But it's something that we'll have very soon as well.
Oh, all right, that's cool. Thanks for the response.
We also will have, our own wallet solution potentially quite soon, where we're kind of looking ahead, and there's a number of wallet APIs. One thing that's really quite a pain still is when you're connecting to a new website and you don't really know what's on. People use a burner wallet, but from speaking to a lot of users, this burner wallet then becomes like a pretty sizable wallet that they are using. They're funding it with ETH. They're kind of doing some degen stuff. But actually, you don't want to put your funds at risk. Everything that's in the burner wallet, maybe you have a few NFTs, you have some tokens, some, like whatever trading that you're doing. One thing that we can do is actually spin up a burner wallet for you, and you can, have like kind of this protection mode. It's something that we're exploring, which would be really cool to just fund it for that transaction. Then, obviously you would pay a little bit more gas, but your assets would be protected. If it was something you're quite scared about interacting with, you just wanted to test it out, you could use this burner wallet way to make sure that you are protected. And in having a wallet ourselves, then we could do swaps within this, and it will look the same with MetaMask as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Spinning up a burner wallet straight from within there. So yeah, that'll be cool to see how that plays out. We also had something from CEXs perhaps possibly a short note in the extension window that informs the user at the time of the swap. So this would be addressing the transaction rejected. So maybe just like have a quick little note within, or is there already a note within the Caddi pop up?
That's a really good point. So we can have it within the pop-up. I can kind of take you through the how it would work. Once again, it does tell you that the transaction is being confirmed and it has the transaction hash. But maybe if it was able to tell you that although it was rejected on Uniswap, this new route that went through, like let's say OpenOcean, it has been accepted. Or if it told you here, right, the kind of brainstorming out loud. Transaction rejected on Uniswap, new transaction on OpenOcean, let's say, don't know what the right words are here, but kind of processing.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, some sort of just little comment saying you'll see transaction rejected on the DEX, but we'll be processing this, because that's a bit of a confusion point, right? If you see transaction rejected and then all of a sudden you have a transaction in MetaMask pop up, that's a bit questionable, especially when you're doing if you've got like say $5,000 to move, that becomes a bit of a sweaty moment where you're hoping everything's gonna
Yeah.
go through okay.
Yeah, I mean, talk about sweaty moments. There's a lot in crypto, and we don't want to add one more. We want you to have confidence when you're transacting. So yeah, I actually think maybe there's a way that we can just have it pending until it really is accepted on another platform, and then we can just tell Uniswap that we executed your transaction like so. I'll have to look into it. It's not outside the realms of possibility that we can do that and just make this work as if you were executing on Uniswap.
Awesome. And so why did you decide to go with a browser extension? And how many different browsers is your extension available in?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, when we first built Caddy, it was a Telegram bot actually, where you could trade on centralized exchanges, and that was just a trading tool that I'd made for myself. And then the natural next progression was to interact with DeFi. I realized that you couldn't do that through Telegram, but the whole goal was convenience, right? So Telegram was with you on every, wherever you are, you've always got your mobile. People love Telegram who are, into crypto. And we built an interface. It wasn't very good for interacting with DeFi, and it just added one other interface. There are so many crypto interfaces that you have to learn already, which are websites. And do people go to 1inch versus Kyber Swap versus OpenOcean versus Matcha versus Paraswap for any particular reason? People have habits, I think, and we didn't want people to just not find out about Caddy because we were one interface which they could use but probably wouldn't use. So a browser extension was very interesting. They're really powerful. What you can do, you can kind of store data like seed phrases or API keys or any other data, and you can interact with different web pages. So independent of if you're on Uniswap, if you're independent of if you're on 1inch, if you're on anything else, we can then read it. Which as I've demonstrated, there's a ton of good things that you can now have access to because we've read your transactions. Obviously, being private with the data is very important to us. So we only collect product usage data. We don't actually collect anything like that sensitive information. We don't even take your email. We just give you an invite code, and that invite code then is what's used to identify your activity so we can improve the product. So yeah, I mean, browser extensions are really powerful. I honestly think taking a leaf out of the Honey book, where most people actually wouldn't have used many Chrome extensions outside of Honey before they downloaded it, and it really just found product market fit, and it was something that would insert into the right places whatever it needed. We're starting with swapping, but we also see ourselves as an antivirus too. So, there's a lot of cool stuff we can do in phishing protection, in transaction scanning to make sure you're not getting rugged, which makes sense as a browser extension. We're currently live on Chrome and Brave, but from talking to our beta users, we will probably, release something for Firefox as well. Seems like there's a pretty big cohort, kind of larger than I thought, that do use Firefox as well.
Yeah, I'd have to second that. Personally, I'm a Firefox user, even though I know Brave is slightly better in ways. I try and avoid Chrome like the plague. Sort of uh, I have an aversion to Google collecting my data. Um, but this has been really informative. Thanks so much for running us through the product. Are there any other features of the product or anything that you're working on in particular that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline. With this new ship, which is the optimal order routing that we've included, we had to take back a lot of other features that we had implemented beforehand, which is portfolio tracking, trade tracking as well. So, here we have a market overview where you can see the tokens that you're interested in buying, but you can't see previous trades. So imagine if we made that swap from Matic to Uni, then we could see a live profit and loss of that one. And you could do the same if it was a centralized exchange. That's something that we had previously in the previous version that we're making sure it's 100% for the next version. And then portfolio tracking. So all of your holdings across multiple wallets and anywhere where you keep crypto, we want to make sure you're in control of your funds, you understand your portfolio, you really know what's going on. And we're building a portfolio tracker at the moment as well. And that's, again, it's something that we had in the previous iteration. So there's a lot of infrastructure which is there to come out pretty soon. And then lastly, a fiat on ramp as well. We're using OnRamper, which is an on-ramping aggregator. So it will get you the best prices from any on-ramp, and you can on-ramp, super easily directly from this Chrome extension, but into any wallet. So there's no custody of funds. We're completely non-custodial, but you could on-ramp directly into Binance or any wallet that you use as well.
Wow, lots coming. This is awesome. Yeah, you're doing a great job. How big is your team?
So we're currently a team of four. So we've got a couple of amazing engineers, and a growth guy who's been working with me, and we're very excited about what we're doing. We think the team will expand in the future, so don't hesitate to contact me if you're interested. But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty lean at the moment. We're kind of working super hard. We actually just shipped Polygon today, so yeah, you guys are kind of the first to see this. Yeah, so literally like maybe an hour and a half before the call, we were just like fixing some stuff to make sure it was working. Yeah, I mean, very excited about expanding the team, but I think we're in a good place.
Nice. Is there anybody in particular or any sort of role in particular that you're looking for currently, or anything in the horizon that you might be seeking? I know you said if you're looking for work, get in touch, but what would be the most pressing role that you're looking to fill right now?
Yeah, so I think we will expand, in a few more roles. So I would say engineering is probably the focus. There's definitely
Mhm.
more features and things to build that we have time for right now, which is good and bad. It helps us prioritize. But having an extra pair of hands who can help out with the dev work, whether that's blockchain, smart contract engineering, front end, back end, we'd love to talk to you.
Beauty. All right. ZFi says that Polygon integration was the convincing factor to start using Caddy himself. So good job there. Um,
Amazing. Well, hit me up. I'll send you an invite code, and I'm personally trying to onboard everyone one by one, and I'd love to get your feedback from it.
Sweet. I actually was trying to use this yesterday, and I thought for some reason I was already in, but I wasn't able to, so I ended up using Li-Fi. Um, but yeah, I'd love one of those invite codes too.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I will send one to you after the call.
Sweet. Any other questions from any of our members here today? Give it just a quick sec here. No. Um, Yeah, it looks like we've covered most of everything. So thanks so much, Jamin, for coming by and showing us this product demo. As I said, feel free to share this with anyone and everyone. Send them the link. I will get the link to the YouTube video out to you very soon. Um, just as a reminder for anybody listening or watching this, none of this has been financial advice or tax advice or legal advice. We're not financial advisors. We're all just exploring Web3 and we are trying to do it safely. We're just trying to expose the projects who are making a great difference to all of us users here, to make everything a little bit easier, a little bit more friendly, and a little bit better to use. So thanks a lot, Jamin, for coming and showing us your product. And we will see you around the halls of the DAO.
Thank you.
All right. See you, everybody. Bye bye.